And boom, just like that, the markets go into an absolute frenzy in the last couple days. We'll get into that. If you guys have been watching my Bitcoin videos, you know that exactly 6 days ago, we were calling this move up to 13K at $10,600 for Bitcoin, which we will get into in just a minute. But with that being said, this video will be two parts. I actually made a video yesterday whenever we hit our first price target, which was 11.9 right here on this daily close with this red trend line that we called in the last video that was posted 2 days ago, how we were calling for the big move to come either today or tomorrow. And just like that, guys, we saw it happen. And so let's jump right into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Ucash Crypto. Today we've got such a good video in store for you guys. As you guys can see, we just had this breakout move from our symmetrical triangle right to our measured move price target, and we're going to get right into that. But before we start, I've got to play you guys a few clips from my previous video where we were calling for this move to happen. And let's see how it played out from the prediction that I made in my previous video. And we need to look at what is potentially to happen. So we still have our downward sloping trend line right here where we've still found that sell pressure, but we found support now twice at this level, pretty strong support. You can see we have the candle body closes at this level right here, and then we came all the way back up to our trend line, wicked all the way down, and then closed all the way right here, which was a very bullish sign, and this candle has pushed us up again. So now on the 1 hour candles, we're just waiting for a close above 11,500, which will send us higher to our measure move price target. Or if we close below 11,400, then that will move us down to our measure move price target to the downside. All right, so as you guys can see in that video, I was analyzing the 1 hour time frame, and I had two very key levels outlined, the 11,500 level and the 11,400 level. And we were looking for a break of the 11,500 level, which is right here, to make a move higher, which is actually exactly what we did. Or to have a break below 11,400 and then continue lower. And you can see this is exactly what happened here. So we have our main symmetrical triangle here that we have outlined in dark black, and then we have this trend line of resistance as well at the wicks of the candles, as you guys can see right here and right here. And whenever we first broke out, we had a little bit of a fake out. So we came up, we tested our wick trend line exactly that I now have dotted black, and then we fell all the way down to our support level without breaking it, which is a key thing that I said to look for. We didn't break it here, and then look what happened. We rallied all the way back up to the wick trend line, and then we even closed this candle below. But on the breakout of this candle was the confirmation that we were going higher to our measured move price target. And as a recap, I want to go back to our previous video and also show you guys exactly what I was calling for this measured move price target to the upside. Pressure here, sell pressure here, and then with one more move up, this could be our level, as well as I have this $11,900 level outlined as well, because it is a key level and will be playing a role in this next move. So if we look at what our measure move price target would be of this triangle, let's go ahead and make it purple so we can kind of see that this would be the measure move, as you guys can see right there in our triangle. And we're going ahead and clone this, and let's put one at the breakout to the upside, and then we're going to put one at the breakout to the downside. And look at where this leads us, guys. Right to our two price targets that we have outlined. The first one, if we are to break out and start closing candles above the $11,500 price range, then we could easily see a move up to this resistance level, as well as our 11,900 to 12,000 resistance range that has been playing a crucial role in Bitcoin's current trend. All along here has been calling our tops in this 12K range. And with one more move up, we'd be testing right again into that potential sell wall that they have at 12,000 before a move back down. All right, and again, as I was calling, we could have a move up to the $11,900 range or the 12K sell wall, and that is exactly what we did before having a bearish close right here, which we will get into in just a minute. So now I've taken us to the 4-hour time frame because there are a few key things that we need to look at that just happened. The first thing is we have this red trend line of resistance outlined right here, where you can see it was the sell pressure right here before the move down. It was the sell pressure right here, the sell pressure right here, the sell pressure right here. And even currently, it is acting as that resistance right now. You can see we are closing all of the candle bodies below this level at the current moment. So this is a very, very significant trend line. And as you saw from my previous video, I had outlined here this measure move price target of our symmetrical triangle. And let's go ahead and make this purple and also a solid trend line. And again, we're going to clone this and put this at the breakout point and look at exactly where it led us to. I mean, you can't make this up, guys. If I put it at the top of our measure move, it almost called the absolute top. Even on this candle, look, we wicked up almost exactly to that level. And then on this candle, we wicked up a little bit above, almost exactly to it before closing below this trend line. And right here, if you guys know what this is a small gravestone doji. And the reason I'm saying a small one is because it's only on the 4-hour time frame, so it's not super significant. But as you guys can see, we wicked up right into that sell wall and then closed right below this trend line here and now, making this a very bearish sign. And we're going to get more into this in just a moment. But the next thing I want to outline from the video that I was talking about is the sell wall that we have at 12K and why this is such a crucial level. Alright guys, so now I've outlined this red box of resistance and this extremely important sell wall that they currently have for Bitcoin. You can see it was our first top point right here where we wicked into this box, had the candle body close, and just as an example, let's look at all these measure move price targets from this box. After entering this box, first we had a 13% move to the downside. And then you can see we wicked right into this box again right here. And we had almost 8% move to the downside after that one. Again, you can see we tested the bottom of this box all right here with these candles before making the fake out higher, which we already talked about in a previous video. And then we went up, tested it again, back tested it after we had that fake out up here into this box. And then from this box, we had another about 7.5, 8% move to the downside, came up into this box again and got rejected for the 5th time. And then on this 5th time rejection, we had a move almost 20% all the way to our lower trend line that we have right here. And then what happened? We rallied all the way back up to this box again. And as you guys can see, we've just briefly wicked into this box and have sold off ever since. So again, now this is our next key level that we are testing right now. And to confirm if this is going to be the sell wall again, we need to look at the RSI. So the first thing we are going to look at is the 4-hour RSI, and then we are going to look at the 1-day RSI. So on the 4-hour, we know we had an extremely bearish close here, and I'm going to take this off for right now so you guys can see this clearly. We had a gravestone doji right here, and we went kind of low, but we're pushing up. My prediction was that we are going to close our daily candle, which will happen in about an hour and 10 minutes around this range before we get the downtrend to actually continue. But the reason that I'm very, very confident, again, this is not financial advice. Please always do your own research and own analysis before investing or trading. But the reason I know this is such an important sell zone, apart from the price action of being back into this 12,000 range, our RSI is also in overbought conditions, which we know is a bearish sign. And right here around a 73, the 70 level is the overbought level on the RSI. But we can see that on the 4-hour, this 73 level has also been playing a very key role. All right, so now I've outlined a few key touch points at this 73 level that we've been talking about on the RSI. With these arrows right here, you can see that at first we came up exactly to this level, fell down, broke above briefly before falling back below it, testing it again, falling, coming back up, testing it again, and then selling off pretty heavily there on the RSI, coming up again with our huge rally, hitting it, selling off, and then now we are testing this level exactly. And again, if we close below this level on the 4-hour, which will also close in an hour and 10 minutes, as well as the daily time frame, then we can see this thing, if it can't bounce off the 70 level at overbought conditions, fall back into this range and potentially either come down to the 45, 46 level on the RSI, or even all the way down to oversold at a 30. And before we move into the 1-day time frame, I actually do want to also show you guys one more thing. I'm going to remove my red box of resistance now so we can specifically look at price action, and I'm going to place our price marker tool exactly at the top of this wick right here, which is almost exactly at $12,050. Our high was, wow, exactly 12,050 right there. Exactly. I mean, you can't make this up. We hit 12,050 and then immediately sold off almost $150, almost instantaneously. And the reason this level is so key is check this out. If we go back to this trend right here, look at where our candle closes were with these two candles before we all had the 20% downtrend to our next trend line. Our close on this candle was at 12,054, and our close right here, or technically our open, was at that same level, which became our top right here, right now. Let's get this crypto. Now I've moved us to the daily time frame, and we have a few very significant levels to check out on the daily time frame. The first is we want to look at where the candle closes of this candle was on the daily time frame, which was at 11,924, and this would be my prediction for around where we're going to close today's daily candle in about an hour and 10 minutes as well. And you can see the key confluence it's had with this trend, with the candle bodies and wicks all along this area, and we've briefly wicked above it, but my prediction is going to be that we close above it, as well as our red trend line right here, which you can see on the daily time frame. We wicked up with this candle, we wicked up with this candle, we wicked up with this candle, and currently we've wicked higher. But if we close below this level, I mean, we could have a drop easily down here to this trend line, which would be about a 9 or 10% move to the downside. And these are the fib levels on the daily time frame. And actually, if you watched my last video, I was either calling the move up to our 786 or the move down to our 0.382. These were the two key fib levels outlined, and we went up exactly on confirmation of this daily close, which we were calling to close above the 618 to make a move higher. Let me play you that clip real quick. We already know two things. The first thing is if we close above, let's call it 11,500, then we'll go up to our next measure move, which is around 11,900, which, if you guys remember, was our exact measure move price target in the 11.9 range. So to the upside, if this is to break out, this is where you would be looking to take profits. And if we close the daily candle below this level, then we are most likely going to go down into this range. And we can see our 0.5 is around here, around the $11,100 range that has been playing such a key role. You can see how it was our liquidity zone over here that was support, flipped into resistance, and now we broke back above, and we have been holding this level as support currently. If we are to lose this level, then coming back down to our 0.382, which is right around 10,850, which is where our measured move price target to the downside is, exactly also in confluence with our downward sloping trend line, where we would be looking to retest it to find support and make it move higher. So both the measured move to the price target to the downside around 10,800 and to the upside around 11,900 is very, very viable. Now, the thing that we're looking for, again, on the daily time frame, we're looking for a daily close above this level or a daily close below this level to really see where this trend might go. So as you guys can see from that clip, I was saying we were waiting for the daily close either above this level or below this level. And if we zoom in here, you guys can see that we had the daily candle close above this teal blue line, which is our 618. And look, that sent us up. Let's just do a measured move price and about 5%, almost exactly 5% to the upside to our 0.786 that we were calling exactly. Now I want to zoom out and look at why these fib levels are so important. So as you saw from that video, it kind of explained why the 0.5 was so important. And also we've been talking about how the $10,800 level is so important, 10,008 to 10,009. Now we're 618, which is in confluence with our first take profit zone between 11,400 and 11,500 is right there. And what we should expect in about 40 minutes is a daily close right either below this level or right at this level. As you guys can see, even if we look back in the trend, you can see how important this 0.786 has been, around 11,920. The exact wicks right here, the candle bodies right here, the candle body right here, and the candle bodies on these. And then also we had the candle close exactly at this level on the daily time frame before we had that 20% drop to the downside. So I do want you guys to keep all these levels in mind as they are very significant. So if you stuck around this long in the video, you've got that key piece of advice to take with you into your daily trading routine. So let's go back to the 4-hour and dive into exactly what happened. So we were pointing out how this was a very bearish candle because we had the high at exactly 12,050. We sold off back below this trend line, and this was before the PayPal news was released that gave us the gas to actually push us all the way to my measured move price target of 13,200, which we've been calling in our Bitcoin to 13K very soon video. If you guys haven't watched that, go watch that. You'll get great insight and see why we were calling this move and exactly why this move happened. But it's very clear to see what happened here. So we had this high on this 4-hour candle at 12,050, and I'm going to go ahead and draw a horizontal line at this price level, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so it's easier to see. So we had this high here. This was our initial sell wall. So with traders seeing this bearish move happen, a lot of traders are taking shorts in here, correct? Because that is a good risk to reward setup. If we take our short tool and we put it, let's just say we entered here at the close of this candle, and we bring this to the high of the wick and then bring our risk to reward right down here to where it would test our trend line potentially to find new support before making a move higher. This would be about a 4.06 risk to reward ratio. So any trader would take this position in a short. So what happens is all the traders are taking shorts within these two 4-hour candles around this entry price of 11,900, let's call it. And the stop loss would be at the wick of this candle at $12,050. So what happens is that makes a stop loss wall as well as the sell wall here that when broken turns into buying pressure, pushing us to the upside, which we can see exactly is what happened. And on confirmation of the break of this wick, if you're trading this, that is where you would have entered a long position and you would have moved your stop loss to your entry point at 11,900 on these candles, and we would have put this at our measure move price target of 13,200 right here, and this would have given you a 9.5 risk to reward ratio on break of that $12,050 level. I actually got stopped out. I was one of the people shorting right here, which was, again, a good risk to reward ratio. It was a 4.06. But right whenever we broke 12,051, that would be your entry for a long to get a 9.5 risk to reward ratio. Now let's get into why this move happened. So again, earlier in the video, I was showing you guys how this 73 level on the RSI for the 4-hour has been a keen point of resistance. You can see we had it right here, 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 and then we had it right here. And on breakout of this was our confirmation, and this actually broke us out on this candle, and this is where you would have been entering at 12,050, and then we pushed all the way to about an 88 on the RSI. And one last thing we need to point out on the 4 hour is this purple trend line. Now, this has been a long-term trend line we've had for Bitcoin throughout Bitcoin's history. You can see that after the coronavirus crash happened, it was our resistance and our resistance again, back tested into new support right here, and all along here until we kind of tested it as resistance again, broke above, flipped it back into support, and look at the level we came right to, guys. I mean, all the candles have been closing below this. This was definitely our blow-off top candle, meaning that 13,250 was the sell wall. And guys, I do believe we will get above this by the end of the year, but I think that this will be our high before a downtrend, before the next run up. Because after a move like this, there is extreme greed in the market. Everybody's FOMOing in because it's the fear of missing out. They don't want to miss out on a move like this. And market movers are going to take advantage of this and just short this thing down and liquidate all the people taking orders because of this bullish news that just happened. It's just the trading world, guys. This is just how it works. So I'm calling right now that around 13,250 will be our short-term top. Also, we can kind of see this because of the 1 day, what just happened on the 1 day. You can see that, again, we've been talking about this in our last video. On the breakout of this triangle, which happened on October 18th, you can see we broke above and then had 3 huge green daily candles bringing us up to our price level, and we closed the daily candle looking like a pretty significant blow-off top here. This was about a $450 move that we sold off before we had the close, and we've been holding resistance at this trend line even currently. This could change, guys, and if that does happen, my bias will change. But right now, I'm calling that this was the top and that we should expect the downtrend to continue. The other reason that I say this is because of the weekly time frame. Now, 12,000, and really we can even call it the 12,050 level, but 12,000 is an extremely key level on the weekly candles. We've also been talking about this in all of our videos, and in 2017 was the only time that we were closing candles above $12,000. You can see even whenever we made our high in June of 2019 at $14,000, all the candles closed below and sent us down to 3,800. Even whenever we came up to 12.5, you guys can see right here that all the candles closed below this $12,000 level, sending us from 12.5 all the way to 98.50. And currently, yes, we are above this level. And if on Sunday, which we will still have about 4 more days of price action to confirm this, but on Sunday, if we close this weekly candle below 12,000 again, we have a very, very significant chance of having a huge drop to the downside, and it would also be because of our RSI on the weekly. You can see right here, whenever we came up to 12,500, we created our top right at overbought conditions on the weekly RSI. And right now what happened is we're starting to create a bearish divergence. You can see we had the higher high in price action, but the lower high in the RSI. Right here, we had a 69.64 on the RSI, and currently we are at a 69.05. So not that significant of a bearish divergence yet, but if we close this weekly candle below $12,000, then that will confirm the bearish divergence, and on a weekly scale, we could definitely come down a lot lower. This is where you would be looking to target a potential bounce right here at around the 54 level on the weekly RSI. You can see we had support here, and support here. So if we do create this bearish divergence, this might be the first bounce spot on the weekly RSI. All right, guys, and quickly, I want to go to my channel and show you guys just a couple of things. This was a week ago where we were calling Bitcoin 13K coming soon, and whenever we made this video, Bitcoin was just hovering around 10,600. We're going to get into this video in just a second, but also you can see my most recent video that was about 3 days ago. I said Bitcoin, huge move coming today or tomorrow, and this was just when we were around 11.5. I called the move to 11.9 before we sold off slightly. The PayPal news got released and we rocketed up to 13K. But let's hop into this video, and I want to show you a couple things that I was calling for Bitcoin in this video exactly 1 week ago. Take this from top to bottom and then put it at our breakout point and see what that would lead us up to. And it's probably going to be 13,100. Yep, right there around 13,200. If we had a measured move price target, which would bring us around the bottom of the 13.5 level. So 13.1, 13.2 could be a key level as well. And the reason I say that is because if we just go from the wick, the last wick that we had here, look, our measured move price target would touch that exactly. You can see how we wicked up to this level here before having the huge downtrend all the way to $3,800 and then rallying up again. So this level could play some major confluence too on the way up. So as you guys can see from that video, you can see that we were calling the 13,100 to 13,200 as being that significant level for a few reasons. And look at the high of this candle, guys. It was exactly 13,250, only $50 above the price target that we predicted whenever Bitcoin was only around 10,600, guys. Absolutely amazing. Now, the second part of this video, I was pointing out how we'd have an Elliott wave pattern, and guys, this would be completing the 5th wave of our Elliott pattern, which, you know what, let's just go ahead and outline it again right now, and we'll do AB equals CD. Boom, here's our A move, our B retracement, our C move, our D retracement, and then finally our E move. And we were calling this in our video. Let's play it right now. Let's just draw it again so we can see it on a macro kind of level. A, B, C, D, and then finally our E move would bring us right here. And this would really, depending on what time frame you're looking at, would range anywhere between the 13,200 or 13,100, let's call it, all the way to our 13,900 price level. So just to kind of outline that for you guys, we're going to draw it about like this, and you can see all the resistance we've had at this current level, which would be another perfect rejection zone. So as you guys can see from that video, we were calling this pattern, and I drew this red box again so that you can see with our current trend. Look, we wicked up exactly to the bottom of this box before selling off, as well as hitting that trend line with the Elliott wave pattern that we talked about. There is one slight potential that we come up to this trend line before selling off, which was all the wicks of our highs before the sell-off. But right now, right here, this has shown the most sell pressure, and this is the most significant thing that we need to be looking at the current moment. So guys, one last thing I want to point out on the 4 hour before we close out the video today. Today's been a jam-packed video. I hope you've stayed around for all of it because it's so important. And if you keep following this channel, guys, and keeping up to date with all these videos, I guarantee you will start knowing exactly when these moves are coming, just as I have outlined for you guys. And so with that being said, the last thing I want to look at is the fib move, and we went up exactly to the 1.618 of our fib trend. So let me outline this for you guys here and now. So as I said, this 4 hour candle was extremely important for many reasons, but it actually called our fib levels as well perfectly. So I'm going to zoom out here because we need to find our last low and then our last high before we had that insane sell pressure before finally the bullish PayPal news came out and we rocketed. So if we take it from the top of our candle at 12,050 and bring it down to our last low, which was about right here at, let's see, what is that, about 10.1. You can see, look at where our 1.618 is. Let's actually draw this out a little bit, and boom, right here, exactly at $13,250, which is where we created our blow off top and dropped about $500 in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go the 5-minute candle so you guys can see this. It was this move right here. You guys can see this was our 12,050 or 13,000, excuse me, $250 level. And then immediately once we came up, we went to $13,250.04 and then sold off almost $500 all the way to $12,750 in 10 minutes. Absolutely crazy moves going on right now, guys. I hope you are not missing out in this volatile trading environment. There is so much money to be made. But with that being said, please always do your own research and own analysis before investing or trading. And I will see you all in the next video.